All right, we've learned how to put our euphonium together. We've learned how to hold it, and we've learned how to make a sound. Now it's time to learn how to take care of it. So there's 3 things that I'm going to teach you in this video. The first one is something you're going to do every time you play. The second one is something you're going to do every 2 or 3 weeks. And the third one is something that you'll do only maybe once every month or 2. So here's the first thing, and that is emptying out your water. So every time you play, in all this tubing here, water sometimes will collect, and that's totally normal. It's just part of playing a brass instrument. So we have to empty that out. On your euphonium, you should have a water key. As you can see, if you press, it's opening up right here. That's where the water is going to come out. So you want to empty it into a waste basket. And that's just something that is courteous to others, and it's more sanitary. So to empty out that water, you're going to press down, open that water key, and then blow. And if you've been playing for a really long time, like maybe half an hour, you'll probably have a lot of water that comes out. If you were only playing for like 5 minutes or so, you might not have very much. And the reason why you want to empty out that water each time you play is because if you put your euphonium away for a few days and you've got water in there, that can get pretty gross over time, and it could get moldy and germs, all that kind of stuff. So you just want to make sure you're emptying out that water every single time. So the next thing that you want to do every 2 or 3 weeks is oil your valves. So these right here, these keys are pressing valves up and down, and over time they need to be oiled so that they move quickly for you. So what you'll want to do is oil each one of them, and today I'm going to show you how to just oil one of them, but you'll want to do it to all of them. So I'm going to show you how to do this very first one here. You're going to unscrew the valve, not from up here, but from down here, this part. So you want to unscrew it, and you have to do it for kind of a while, a lot longer than you might realize. It's going to keep coming, and you'll know you have it when it sort of pops up. There we go. So that's what it looks like when the valve comes out. And to oil it, you're only going to use 1 or 2 drops of oil. Now, I have blue juice here. This is probably the best kind that you can use because it cleans your euphonium too, in addition to oiling it. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 drop right there. And 1 drop right there, and that is all I need. So after I've got that oil in there, I'm going to go ahead and work it up and down a little bit. And then getting it back in can be a little bit tricky. On your valve, you should have sort of a little piece that comes out. You want to make sure that lines up with the valve itself. So you have to kind of look for it, and when you've got it into place, it'll go down. So you can see if that key is going down, you know it's in place. So once you've got it in place, then you can screw it back in. And once it's screwed in, you can let it back up, and you'll see it's working very nicely now. So you would want to do that to every single one. Now sometimes you'll be playing and you might have a valve that's like kind of coming up really slowly, or it's not coming up at all. That's just a sign that you need to oil that one. So if that happens, you'll know what to do. So again, that's something you're going to want to do every 2 or 3 weeks. Now the last thing is something you'll only have to do maybe once every month or 2, maybe even less depending on how often you're playing. And that is greasing your slides. So you can see anytime your euphonium has one of these coming out, that is a slide. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when I pull this one out. Now, a tip to remember is when you pull these out, you want to hold down all of your valves while you do it. So remember that. Always do that. Then if I pull this out, there you go. So you can see this part that was hidden is the part we're going to grease. So in order to do that, you're going to want to take slide grease. Looks like this, or it might be in like a little different type of container. And then you put some on your finger. A little bit goes a long way, just like the valve oil. And then using that finger, you're just going to spread it on the slide. Make sure that they're nice and oiled up. And then after you've done that, you'll put it back into place. But again, before you do that, you want to hold down all of these keys. And the reason why we do that is because if you don't hold those down and you put this back into place, you're actually going to be building up pressure inside the instrument, and that can damage it over time. So just keep these held all the way down. You pop that back into place, and then what I like to do is move it in and out just a little bit to make sure that that grease gets worked in. So that's one. You've got more of these. So you've got one here in the middle, and then you've got one here and one here at the bottom. So you have quite a few of these that you'll have to oil and grease. And again, that's just something that you'll want to do about once every 1 or 2 months. So now that you know how to take care of your euphonium, it should work great for you for the rest of the school year. So good luck.